What up, peeps? It is Highboi. I'm re-uploading this video because it got copyright claimed, and when I came to dispute it, saying that my video is fair use, which it is, and the claimant as usual disagreeing with that fact, instead of just taking all the f***ing profit from that video and leaving it visible for all the world to see, no, they had to block it for the entire world as well. Thanks, assholes. So I'm gonna re-upload it with no alterations to the video, with no monetization whatsoever. It'll still probably get claimed, but I won't dispute it, so hopefully it won't get blocked worldwide and people can actually see this stuff and enjoy it. I just won't make any money off of it. If you want to support me through this bullshit, you can buy some of my merch, or join my Patreon where you get early access to all these videos, uncensored. You can vote on meme polls and some other stuff as well. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to TENET, another Christopher Nolan mind movie that I will attempt to explain while only understanding 10% of it, and even that is debatable because I'm just a girl in a brain rot world, so I probably understood the 10% wrong. Anywho, the most important thing you gotta know about this movie is that there's time travel with a twist. Here's how I understand it, and I really stretched my brain cells as far as they can go for this one. It's fucking bisexual time travel, because both directions are happening at the same time. Let me explain. Time normally goes in this direction, okay? But in this movie you can enter a machine that sort of reverses whatever comes out of it to move in this direction as well, while shit is still moving in that direction, in the same plane of existence. And both normal and inverted, reversed, backwards, time, whatever stuff can interact with each other in really super fucked up ways that are very vaguely explained and inconsistent at times in my opinion, but who cares? It's time travel garbage. You'll see what I mean later. Just keep this shit in mind. Now let's start with the movie. Movie starts out in a Ukrainian opera house being attacked by bad dudes. So a response team comes and main character LeBron James sneaks in with his team, pretending to be a part of the response team, and they gas out the auditorium to knock out all the people inside, but only affect the civilians because the bad guys have oxygen masks. LeBron goes to extract this agent of his because his cover's been blown, some shit, and they jump into the crowd with shots flying all around, somehow missing all the civilians, which is crazy to me because they make up like 50% of the surroundings, if not more. Anyway, LeBron then finds out that the response team wants to blow up the place, so they are bad guys too or something, I don't know. He then goes to collect the package that his agent got from the coat hangers, regroup and split up to take different exits, but not before going back with this one dude to collect all the bombs with timers that are, as usual, inaccurate to the actual movie time, but who cares. Bad people trying to stop him from collecting the bombs, but then he gets saved by an unknown dude with a weird bullet in a Wolfenstein soldier costume that quickly leaves. He eats all the bombs over on this second floor that hopefully is empty. The bombs blow up while they rush out to their extraction van that is now occupied by a bad Russian guy, beats up this decoy agent dude, then holds LeBron at gunpoint, takes them both over to a rail yard to torture them about information on the rest of their team and where they're going, takes LeBron's cyanide pill out of his coat so he can kill himself and take the easy way out, but his bro on the floor offers him his pill, so he jumps down to take it for a swift self-kill. That rhymed. LeBron James and wakes up on a boat, not dead, with some dude who's presumably like his boss or something like that, telling him that the cyanide pill he took was fake and they extracted him from Ukraine and fixed him up. Unfortunately, his team still got caught by bad guys because someone gave him up, but it wasn't him, which means that he's past the death, and even though on paper he's dead, they're gonna give him the Robocop treatment and put him to work anyway, saving the whole world this time because there's a secret hidden Cold War going on right now. So LeBron's like, word, give me the details. So agent dude is like, can't tell you that. To know too much is to lose. Knowledge divided is better. Very cryptic shit. All he has for him is the had to do it to a move, but with interlocked fingers, and a secret word, TENET. When you do this move and use that word TENET, it'll open all the right doors for you and some of the wrong doors as well. Use it wisely. They then drop him off at a wind farm at sea somewhere. He enters the base of a wind turbine, eats, sleeps, shits in that place for a little while, inspects his gun, works out, all that stuff. Why are you doing pull-ups that far up, you fucking dumbass? What if you overdo it, your arms get fatigued and you fall down? What's wrong with 2 rungs up? Also, is that another fake cyanide pill? Doesn't matter. Eventually, a boat comes to pick him up. He goes ashore and there's a car waiting for him with directions to take him to some lab somewhere where a scientist woman is stopping him from entering, so he hits her with a gritty, the secret code and move combination. She opens the lab, shows him around, shows him the how part of this operation that they themselves barely understand. Shows him a wall full of bullets in it that can get sucked up into guns because these bullets have been inverted through time and can be manipulated in reverse. Like you can pretend like you drop them and they'll get sucked up into your hand. You can spin them around, do all that shit, but you have to pretend like you did that first. It's kind of confusing, but whatever. Also, if you get hit with an inverted bullet, it's like a million times worse than getting hit with a normal bullet because there's like inverse radiation and shit. And over time, they found more and more inverted items coming back from the future sent by someone, God knows who. And this organization, TENET, thinks that it's only a matter of time before they send back a nuke or some crazy shit like that. And he's here to stop that from happening and find out who these future assholes are. So first step is to trace the manufacturer of these bullets back to wherever they came from, and he traces it back to Mumbai, India, the land of and the massive wolf cap. He gets help from some old friends to get to Sanjay Singh, an arms dealer that supplied these bullets, in his super guarded penthouse to find out who he's gonna sell to, I guess, to find out if that person is sending it back to the past, something like that. And help comes in the form of Mr. Twilight himself, but in this movie he's called Neil, and they break into the tower using elastic bungee cords. They Spider-Man up to the penthouse, and Neil deals with the security team, stopping them from calling the cops, while LeBron deals with some guards and approaches Sanjay himself, only to find out that his wife Priya is the brains of this operation. He's just a pretty face. Then she uses the TENET code and hand signal. He understands that they're on the same team-ish, maybe, I don't fucking know. But they talk, and it turns out she sold some munitions to this Russian dude named Andrei Sator, who's like some sort of middleman or broker between the future and now. He's the one that inverted the bullets, and he's a very, very hard man to get to. And with that info and the cops arriving, they both bungee jump off the building and escape. He then meets secret British agent dude Alfred, who gives him some info on a fake Goya painting to get close to Sator through his wife, who's an art evaluator, who mistakenly had her husband buy another fake Goya just like this one. And LeBron can use this second fake and this info to blackmail her into getting him a meeting with her husband. Basically, if she doesn't do that, then he'll release the info on this Goya and that his Goya is fake, and her husband will also be really mad and she doesn't want that. So when when he meets her and has dinner with her and tries to pull this shtick, she's like, "You're too late, buddy. He already knows. He's holding it over me and basically torturing me with this information, threatening me with cops, lawyers and shit, telling me I'll never see my son again, all because of a stupid fucking painting I didn't even know was fake. Damn, he must be a really shitty evaluator. It was a really good fake. Alright, yeah, whatever, bitch. New proposal. I'll get rid of that painting for you, therefore no evidence that he can fuck you over with, and in return you'll get me a meeting with him." Conversation gets cut short, however, because some Satan's men come over to take her away and beat him up. He says goodbye to her and slips his number in her pocket, tells her to call him. She leaves. They take him into the kitchen to beat him up, but the Black Mamba, wait, that's Kobe. Braun is a well-trained super spy who destroys them by cheese grating their faces, busting their hair into fucking fridges, shows fucking blonde bitch that he's alive and hard as fuck. Her chauffeur drives her away, and we skip to another day where she's saying goodbye to her kid because he's taken away after school in a Range Rover because her husband is a controlling little that wants to limit her interaction with her son just to punish her for the painting and shit. So she decides to call LeBron James, and he shows up out of thin air from behind her, just like this hoe in red that wasn't visible in the previous shot. And before you say, "Oh, she's hiding behind this fucking wall," no, she wasn't, bitch, because then we see her shadow on the floor. Anyway, she's ready to take him up on his offer and tells him where the painting is. It's at an airport in Oslo in something called a Freeport, which is a place where rich fucks go to view art, antiquities, sex toys, dragon eggs, Michael Jackson's femur, and other valuable items of theirs they have purchased before entering the country so they don't pay taxes on them. And Satan goes there a lot to view things of his other than art. Him and Neil are going to break into that and find the painting, destroy it, and whatever else Seder has hiding in there. But first, Neil goes in there on a private tour to scope the place out. Some of the stuff he finds out is that in emergencies, the outside doors get locked down tighter than a nun's ass, but the inner doors revert back to caveman technology with pickable locks and shit. The vaults themselves get flooded with halide gas in case of a fire, and any staff stuck inside has 10 seconds to get out in any of the side corridors to avoid suffocating to death. So their plan is to be inside there while they trigger a lockdown so they can roam around, do whatever they want. They arrange a meeting to get in there as new investors or customers or whatever, while they have a friend of theirs hijack a gold transport plane and dump out all the gold onto the runway to make it look like a robbery gone wrong as he 9/11s it into the side of the Freeport, triggering the emergency lockdown. The halide gas starts flooding the vaults. Tour guide dude escapes into one of the side corridors, which by the way, they did not give him 10 seconds. That was way less than that. I counted. Also, when Mahir was taking over the plane and knocking the guards out, he only puts this chloroform rag over the guard's nose, not mouth and nose. Plus, chloroform doesn't knock out that quick. Unless he was using something else that knocks out faster and only needs to be put over the nose because it's so potent, then that's fine. The Freeport is sectioned out in a pentagon way with a corridor between each section. The center section being the most secret, well-hidden one, meaning that's probably where Seder keeps all his shit. So LeBron and Neil start picking locks to go deeper and deeper into the core of this Tootsie Roll, till they get to this unknown central room with two doors. They each enter one side. Both rooms are split evenly. Between them, there's a big glass wall. On LeBron's side, he sees evidence of a struggle with bullet holes and a dismantled gun on the floor that as soon as he touches, triggers this circular chamber in front of them to move, with two guys in Wolfenstein soldier costumes popping out from either end. On Neil's end, his guy starts running away, but on LeBron's end, he starts fighting him in reverse time because this dude is inverted, and they start having this really weird and confusing fight scene because, again, he's fighting a dude that's inverted, so like bullets get sucked up into the gun. Wolfenstein dude does his gravity-defying moves, but eventually gets stabbed in the arm by LeBron, while Neil finally catches up to his guy and takes his mask off, then immediately throws it back at him and runs back to LeBron, who has his guy pinned down and is about to kill him. He's trying to stop him from killing him. He says, "We have to keep him alive and interrogate him because we don't know if we've been compromised or not," something like that. But then the dude gets sucked out of a garage door because the plane's flaming out engine sucked him out. Neil tells LeBron that he dealt with his Wolfenstein guy properly and that he's seen too much now and he needs to know what he's got himself into. So he spills the beans about all this temporal, time travel, Cold War shit they doing. He then goes back to Hindu slut Priya to tell her what happened if she has more information about this stuff for him. And she tells him that they didn't fight two different guys but the same person. Just one of them was inverted, and that thing he came out of was a turnstile. That's the thing that I explained to you earlier, invert shit. Andre built that thing with the help of the future because it hasn't been invented yet. She also tells him that weird thing they found in the Ukrainian opera at the beginning of the film is plutonium-241 that Seder was trying to steal, but it fell into the hands of some Ukrainians. She tells LeBron to tell Seder that he can get it for him as a way to get closer to him and gather more info on him, and it is of utmost importance that Seder stays alive till they know what role he's playing in all this shit. So LeBron goes back to Kat, the blonde bitch, tells her that her painting got destroyed, she doesn't have to worry about it anymore. So she affords him an audience with her husband, invites him to a dinner, introduces him as a mutual friend she met at a diplomatic shit somewhere, sometime. He meets Andre and he thinks that he's sleeping with his wife, so he's like, "I will replace your eyes with your testicles." But then LeBron goes, "You like opera?" Seder, now thinking that he knows some stuff about the Pluto 241, invites him to talk tomorrow morning over some activity, which is fucking speed sailing. And they discuss the 241 while hustling this boat around the water. Why the fuck did you choose this activity? What the what was wrong with golfing? Or invite him to your office, you stupid Ruski. Anyway, Kat's there too, and in the middle of their sailing and discussion, she tries to kill Satan by unhooking his harness and dumping him in the water. So LeBron turns the thing around and goes after him to save him from drowning because he needs to keep him alive. How the fuck is this guy drowning? Did Comrade never learn how to swim? Actually, fuck that, he has a life vest on. He doesn't need to know how to swim. Maybe they're going so fast that when he hit the water, he got knocked out. I don't know. Whatever. They all go back to Andre's mega yacht, and Kat visits LeBron in his room, hella mad at him for not only saving Satan's life, but also lying to him about destroying the painting, because earlier that morning, Andre showed her the fake Goya that he took away from the Freeport because he had a feeling about it, and he always has feelings about the future like that. LeBron tells her that he had to do that to get close to him, and he had to keep him alive because he's a key to something bigger and more dangerous to not just her son and her, but the whole world. She's like, "Okay, fine." Seder calls to meet LeBron, so he goes up to meet him, thanks him for saving his life, tells him he's in debt to him, so they discuss business. LeBron tells him that he knows about the 241 and he can get it for him, but he wants a cut in the profits or whatever, and needs Seder's resources to help him extract it. That's how I understand it, at least. He tells LeBron to stay for the night, yells at his wife, and a chopper lands with a package full of inverted gold. LeBron gets caught spying on Seder and inspecting the gold, and Seder asks him who he really is and how he knows about the 241, and I don't really get this part, but I believe he convinces him that he's like a rogue CIA agent that wants more money, so he wants to cut off Sater's plutonium supply business. I don't fucking know. Anyway, the Ukrainians that got the 241 are transporting it in a convoy in Estonia, so Sater pays him in a bloody gold bar to steal it for him. This gold is given to him by future bad people as payment. He buries empty time capsules, then digs them up basically right away and finds them full of gold and instructions to do evil shit, I guess. LeBron gets to Estonia and tells Neil about what happened, and they make a plan to steal the plutonium from the Ukrainian convoy, the details of which are irrelevant and a waste of time to explain. This video is getting long enough already. But basically, they sandwich the convoy, and LeBron uses a fire truck ladder to go over it and blow a hole through the roof, then drop down, get the fucking package and get out. Gets into a fast car with Neil and claims that there's no way this is plutonium because this capsule does not look like any plutonium storage thing. Why is this window licker wearing a fireman's suit? There's literally no reason to go through the hassle of putting it on, in my opinion. You know what? He should have worn some of my merch instead, which you can buy at highboymerch.com right now. Anyway, shameless plug aside, at the same time Sater went to Estonia, took his wife to another free port nearby, inverts himself in the scene driving or reverse driving a car and chasing down the car that LeBron's in, revealing to him that he's holding Kat as gunpoint, and there's a continuity error here because he puts the window down, then in the next shot it's up, but whatever, that's irrelevant. He threatens to shoot her if he doesn't throw over the orange case, but then another car that was flipped over unflips over and starts driving reverse as well, comes up to be in between them. He throws the package and it gets into the Audi. Silver car disappears, Andre gets into another car and leaves his wife to crash into whatever fucking obstacle that lies in front of her, but LeBron is able to jump into her car and stop it before that happens. Everybody stops and Sater comes again to shoot up Neil and LeBron. He abducts him and Kat and takes him over to the turnstile while they keep Neil busy, and this next part is where my confusion levels peak, as I'm sure it did for many other folks. My dumbass is still gonna try and explain it though, so pay close attention. LeBron is brought to the room before the turnstile entrance with a glass partition with inverted Sater on the other end, with non-inverted Kat that is already shot, but he is threatening to shoot her to LeBron because it's reverse time if he doesn't tell him where the capsule, aka the presumed plutonium, is, because it's not in the orange box he gave him. LeBron tells him it's in the BMW's glove box. Normal time, Sater then comes in and beats him up, asking him the same question, where's the stuff? But he's like, I already told you. Then Sater gets forced into the turnstile because some people come in shooting to rescue LeBron, and he comes out the other end inverted, and we see everything that he just did from his point of view. Then he leaves to go inspect the BMW. Now this team that came in to save LeBron turns out to be led by this dude called Ives. He's on the good guys team, their team, which Neil tries to explain to him, but he's mad at him like, they're with us? Who is us? How did Sater know all our moves before we did them? You're the one that told him, didn't you? But then Ives tells him to calm the fuck down, it's not Neil's fault. Sater was running a temporal pincer movement where half his team is moving in reverse time, inverted, and the other half is moving in normal time, so they both like converge from both ends and know everything that's happening from either side, you know? Now Kat got shot by an inverted bullet, which, as I explained before, is terrible news. She is royally f***ed. Apparently she has less than 3 hours to live. Unless they invert her right now and let her heal up for a few days, then invert her back. Only problem is they took control of this turnstile a few minutes ago. Before that it was Sater's, so they can't use this one to uninvert her. So they decide to use the one that is in Oslo while they were doing the Freeport heist a week ago. They all get into the turnstile, invert themselves, and look for a shipping container that just came from Oslo and set it up for habitation so they can get reverse sent back to Oslo. While they do that, LeBron decides to go back out there again because Sater was threatening to shoot her in the past or future or something like that. So what if he actually shoots her then? What happens to her here? That's an unknown, blah blah blah. He wants to fucking go and save her anyway. Although by doing that, Neil's afraid that he'll tell Sater the relocation of the capsule because he lied to him earlier. It's not in the BMW's glove box, it's somewhere else. So this lady briefs him on the rules of going out inverted into the world. The most important thing you need to know is that you can't come into skin-on-skin contact with your normal self, or else annihilation, which is very vague but descriptive enough to get the memo. He can't breathe normal air because his inverted lungs won't be able to process the normal air, so he has to have his own supply of inverted oxygen with him. Everything except for gravity will be inverse for him. Wind will be at his back when he runs, fire will feel cold, he'll shit out of his mouth and eat through his ass, stuff like that. He goes out into the world, gets into an unlocked sub. Ultra confusing shit is about to happen right now, so brace yourself because you're about to get brain ripped. He follows reverse Sater and sees the handoff between normal him and reverse Sater, but also the capsule itself starts reverse bouncing inside the car and out of the car into his normal time hands, because normal him saw himself in reverse and was like, oh, that's me, and threw it in there to try and trick Sater, but Sater saw that as well, and he rams reverse him off the road, gets out the car and tells him that he saw the handoff, which means he's able to get the capsule eventually, and lights his car on fire, causing LeBron to freeze almost to death because he gets saved by Ives' team and put in the Oslo container with Neil and Kat. So if I understand this correctly, that means the capsule was already in the sub before LeBron went into it. So how did Sater get it? Did he have someone waiting there and took it before he went in? Did he get it himself? And if he saw the handoff already, then why did he... Oh wait, that was before the... Dude, fuck this. I didn't become a YouTuber to think this hard. Fuck it. Moving on. LeBron's in the container headed back to Oslo so they can give Kat enough time being inverted to heal. Turns out Neil was a part of this all along before LeBron and him met, but he couldn't tell him anything because to know too much is dangerous. Knowledge divided his power and all that stuff. But he does tell a now conscious Kat about everything, the predicament they're in, Priya, all that stuff, because she has a right to know why she might be dying, and she woke up like, hey yo, what the fuck is going on? And while the super confusing car chase was happening, LeBron was able to get a listening device near Sater and recorded him saying, get other sections of the algorithm to the hypercenter. So he asks Neil what the algorithm is, and he explains to him that it's a formula that got rendered into physical form so it can't be copied or fucked with. It was split up into 9 pieces, the capsule being the last one. The other 8 are already with Sater. And when they're all joined together and triggered, it will invert the whole fucking world and reverse the flow of time, destroying anything and everything that ever existed instantly.
Including my son.
Yes, including your boy. Way to make this all about you, you selfish whore. They continue living in this box for a week while they get transported back to Oslo. LeBron keeps asking Neil questions about time travel. Like, if we're the future people's ancestors and they want to kill us, wouldn't that kill them too? That's the grandfather paradox. That don't make no sense. Exactly. But Daddy Nolan wants to make a movie, so shut up and sleep. They arrive at the Oslo airport. LeBron puts on the Wolfenstein outfit and they all go out to use the turnstile while past them were doing the Freeport mission. LeBron gets seated into the Freeport because the flaming outplane engine was sucking him in real time, therefore it's pushing him now, so it pushes him in. And we get to see the whole Freeport fight scene again from his inverted POV, where he tries to go for the gun several times and actually shoots at himself. What the f*** are you trying to do that, you fucking dumbass? Also, he started feeling the effects of the stab wound in the container till he actually got stabbed. And then the wound gets reversed. Same with the broken BMW mirror that got unbroken when the chase happened. Very interesting time gimmick, but like when does it appear in normal time to be broken or like stabbed? Is he born with a weird scar on his arm? Was the BMW manufactured with a broken fucking mirror? You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. He eventually gets in a turnstile and uninverts himself, runs out, gets chased by Neil, who leaves him once he finds out who he is because he has a Galaxy IQ brain. Now uninverted LeBron runs out and gives the go-ahead to inverted Neil and Kat to go inside and uninvert themselves. They achieve that successfully. When they come out, they see LeBron waiting for them in an ambulance that he stole. He takes them away. They confirm that Kat is healed enough. After that, another confusing part happens. LeBron gets Priya over to Oslo for a meeting because since he's in the past, now he can stop her from ever telling him to help Seder and get him the plutonium-241, aka the capsule. She refused to do that and explains to him more shit about the algorithm. It was created by some bitch in the future who realized how dangerous it is, so she split it up into 9 pieces and hid them in the past, each in a nuclear storage facility of the 9 nuclear superpowers. Then she killed herself so no one could force her to recreate it. Now Priya wanted Seder to get the capsule because he already has the other 8 and he has to join them all to activate it, so that means the other 8 are gonna come out of hiding, saying shit like your role here is done, you think you're the only one capable of saving the world, indicating that she thinks that another part of the TENET team is gonna come to stop Seder, but he's like, fuck you, I'm the main character, bitch, I know where Seder's gonna activate the algorithm, so you better help me. So she gives him resources to try and stop Seder. Turns out she has her own turnstile. He's like, the hell, you have one of those? But that's the technology we want to stop. She's like, we fight fire with fire here, bitch. There are also good guys in the future that are trying to stop the annihilation of the world. Why did the hoe that created the algorithm not just destroy the algorithm? If you can split it up to 9 pieces, then you can definitely destroy it, asshole. Or if you're willing to kill yourself in the present so no one can ever force you to make it again, so why not just go back and kill yourself before you even invent it, you fucking retard, whatever. He also tells Priya that when this is all over to not kill Kat and her son because they are not agents of TENET, so they're loose ends, so they have to die because no one who knows about this time travel shit can be left alive. She gives him her word that it will not be harmed. Then we cut to LeBron, Neil, and Kat all inverted on a boat with more confusing bullshit spat out on our face. Fucking penis, this shit is so mentally taxing to explain. Okay, they tell Kat that they found out that if Seder dies, the algorithm gets activated. How that happens is that he has a Fitbit on his arm that tracks his heart rate at all times, so they know exactly when he dies. By the way, the algorithm gets activated by connecting all 9 pieces and blowing them up. So they have to make sure that he stays alive till they get the algorithm in their hands. But she's like, slight problem with that, he's already dying because he's got stage 87 terminal ball cancer. Fuck! And he's probably gonna kill himself and take the whole world with him. Fuck! So they wreck their brains trying to figure out when and where he's planning to do this. When LeBron remembers Kat mentioning a time when they were on the yacht in Vietnam where she was trying to love him again, butter him up and make him feel good so she could ask for a divorce, and he agreed on the condition that she would never see her son again, so she got mad, smashed some berries, and took off with her son on a boat while he took off in a chopper to disappear for a little while. So they figure he's gonna go back there because that's the last nearest happiest moment for him. He gonna pick that to commit seppuku and end the world. LeBron also figures out why he's gonna blow up the algorithm because he was tipped off that on the same day of the opera siege there was an explosion in a old Soviet nuclear secret town called Stalsk 12, which just so happens to be Andrei's hometown. QED, that's where the algorithm is. Actually, not QED at all. I don't know why I said that. Ives preps his troops for this big mission they're about to do. While they're all traveling through space and time to where they need to be, LeBron gives Kat a phone, tells her when this is all over, and she at any moment in her life feels unsafe, just to ring him and tell him where she is and he'll be there in a jiffy. He leaves for Stalsk 12 with the troops while she goes off to the yacht with this dude Mahiri, who tells her that she's only free to kill Andrei Satan once they tell him that they've extracted the algorithm, and he will notify her of this by shooting his flare. She waits for her past self to leave the boat, then past Seder to leave the boat, then swims over to the yacht while Ives is briefing his troops. They're gonna do a temporal pincer maneuver themselves. Half the team will be inverted and half the team will be normal, and they will attack at the same time. They'll have to fight off both inverted and non-inverted bad guys, and their whole objective is to basically make a big ass distraction and fail at stopping the explosion on purpose, while a smaller unit called the Splinter Unit goes in and steals the algorithm before it explodes from the hypocenter, which is the base or inside of this hill where they used to conduct nuclear test explosions. And both teams have respective timers counting down to the explosion. Ives and LeBron are in the normal time team and are the Splinter Unit, while what's-his-face Neil is on the inverted team. The troops are deployed and they were met with heavy resistance as expected. Lots of inverted mindfuck gunfights are happening, while Kat cleans up the smashed berries and glass real quick while still being barefoot. Put on some flip-flops, you stupid bitch. Ain't no way you cleaned up all the shards of glass, there's still some on there. Your folk gonna be bleeding, woman. Anyway, future Seder arrives. He's like, I thought you went ashore. She's like, we need some time alone, you and me, and keeps distracting him with more of a good time. He calls his people to bring his son back to the boat to enjoy the beautiful sunset with them. Back at Stalsk, the Splinter Unit goes through the tunnel to get the algorithm, but they set up a booby trap that destroys the entrance, therefore blocking their escape. Meanwhile, Neil saw that Seder's bad guys set up a booby trap in inverted time, so he used a nearby enemy turnstile to uninvert himself and steal an armored truck to try and warn Ives and LeBron, but fails, so he goes on top of the hill, throws a rope through the hole that I think is meant to be a vent for the hypocenter explosion and shit, so they can grab on, he can pull him out, and they have another way to escape. Meanwhile, Splinter Team runs in and is met with a locked door with a dead friendly inverted soldier on the other end. They try to pick the lock, but Seder's main henchman comes along and knocks Ives out by bouncing a bullet off his fucking dome that somehow didn't kill him. Goddamn, that's a good helmet he's wearing. Anyway, he takes LeBron's gun and hangs the walkie-talkie on the door with Seder on the other end because he excuses himself from his wife to make a small business call and explains to LeBron that basically we ruined the future for future people, bitches, so they want to take revenge on us, and he's helping them do that because he's a fucking like that. And after some more bad guy exposition and Volkov, his main henchman dude, connecting the last piece of the algorithm to the other 8 and almost lowering it into the boom chamber, he gets ordered by Seder to shoot LeBron in the head, at which point the inverted dead guy that is obviously Neil comes back to life to take the bullet for LeBron, opens the door, somehow LeBron gets the gun. There's no way in hell he could have taken it from inverted Neil, and as we can see here, Volkov forgot to take Ives' gun, which means that he most likely took the gun from a knocked out Ives, which means that the gun was always accessible throughout this whole evil monologue, so why didn't he use it before then, when Volkov was busy doing shit? You could have saved Neil, you stupid fucking shit for brains. Anyway, he shoots Volkov in the shoulder, but then the gun jams, so melee combat is deployed. Ives wakes up and comes to help. Neil closes the door and runs off. Volkov gets dealt with, while Kat playfully takes the one away from Andre. Then her anger gets the better of her. She jumps the gun and shoots him, then breaks his neck by throwing him off the boat and into the water. Thankfully, his death wasn't tied to anything programmable that like executes a file or something like that. It's just some dude that ponders his death and blows up the algorithm. It is at this point that Neil throws down a rope from the roof. They tie it around themselves on the algorithm, get hoisted out, and escape the explosion while Kat dives off the boat right as her past self and her son arrives. So they got the algorithm out. Problem is now no one can see that shit and be left alive, so they decide to divvy up the algorithm amongst them, go hide them in secret locations and not tell each other about them, never meet each other again, then kill themselves right after, or maybe at some point else in their lives so they can take the secret with them to the grave. But then Neil hands his portion of the algorithm to LeBron because he's the only one that could have gotten that door open in time. He died down there, so he has to go do some turnstile shit, get down there and perform the ultimate sacrifice, which he's totally okay with. LeBron, however, isn't. He wants to change it, but Neil tells him it is what it is, what happens happened, and explain to him that this whole film is a temporal pincer maneuver. LeBron is like the leader of Tenet, but he's gonna create it in the future. He's the one that recruited Neil, but he's gonna recruit him in the future. Yes, yes, movie, please. Keep goddamn brain fucking me raw. No lube, I love it. Later on, LeBron protects Kat from Priya, who lied to him and was still planning to kill her, but Kat felt that the jag they were in was kinda sus, so she called him, and he arrived there to save her literally instantly because he's got time travel powers now. He shoots her driver, then shoots Priya, and realizes that he hasn't been working for her this whole time. Instead, she's been working for him, and the movie finally ends. I really think my brain is bleeding right now, but regardless, this movie gets 25 paradoxes out of 52 rotting ostrich legs.